When an airplane goes down, investigators don't just sit around assigning emotional blame. They pull the black box and map out the exact sequence of technical nodes that, led to the crash.
Right, exactly.
And today's submitted material uses that same brilliant logic. It offers patients a clinical guide to processing an IVF failure by breaking the treatment cycle into this measurable relay race. But let's dive right into the critique.
Yeah, let's look at how the piece uses that metaphor because, well, the dense formatting is totally burying a fantastic concept.
Oh, for sure.
The text groups these really intense medical metrics like AMH for ovarian reserve or 2PN for fertilization status into these massive block paragraphs.
Which is just way too much.
Exactly. Like when a patient is experiencing the acute grief of a failed cycle, hitting them with dense walls of text causes total cognitive overload. And it obscures the exact actionable steps the author wants them to take.
Right. I mean, you wouldn't want to read a dense stream of consciousness novel after a crash. You just need a crisp, actionable timeline of the data. So how do we fix that delivery mechanism?
Well, we transform those dense descriptive paragraphs into like a visual checklist or maybe an infographic timeline that maps directly to the 5 batons of the relay race.
That makes total sense. Like, let's look at the section on Node 3, fertilization.
Yeah, perfect example.
Instead of hiding the data in a paragraph, we swap it for interactive bullet points. Literally something like IVF or ICSI used. Checkbox. Number of normal 2PN. Checkbox.
That is exactly it. And it's crucial to understand why that structural shift actually works. Like, when a patient is grieving, their working memory is physically compromised by cortisol.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. So a dense paragraph requires them to hold multiple complex variables in their head at once, but a checklist offloads that cognitive burden right onto the paper.
It transforms data gathering from this, passive reading comprehension test into a simple, actionable task.
Exactly. It gives them immediate agency.
So checklists give the patient immediate agency during that data phase. But we have to carry that feeling of empowerment all the way to the end of the document.
Definitely.
Right now, the closing section does the exact opposite by repeatedly telling the reader, don't think this way.
It inadvertently centers the negative, which is pretty risky.
Right.
Constantly saying things like, don't assume the previous clinic was wrong, or don't assume no embryo means no chance. It disrupts the highly supportive tone built earlier and starts to sound slightly scolding.
I do get why the author wants to deliver tough love here, though. I mean, patients really do spiral into those specific myths, and they desperately need a direct reality check.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If we streamline it too much, don't we lose that necessary edge?
Well, I'd say you don't have to lose the edge. You just have to change the framing. When someone is already vulnerable, leading with "don't do this" just makes them defensive.
Right.
So what if they consolidated these repetitive statements into a single, empowering myth versus reality quick reference table?
Oh, that's really smart.
Yeah, you still deliver the hard truth, but you frame it as like insider knowledge rather than a lecture.
I always love a good table. How does that look in practice?
It's just a clean 2-column layout. So instead of writing it all out, column 1 is just the myth. Like myth. Transfer failure always means a bad uterus.
Okay, and then?
Column 2 is the reality. Reality, we must evaluate embryos, endometrium, transfer technique, and luteal support separately.
That is just so much cleaner. It validates the fear, but immediately pivots to the clinical node, which just reinforces the core premise of the entire piece.
Exactly. It completely shifts the focus in a really supportive way.
So, to summarize our critique today, this piece has incredible substance.
It really does.
But by breaking the dense medical paragraphs into visual checklists and reframing those final negative patterns into an empowering myth versus reality chart, this material will become an indispensable tool for patients.
Absolutely. And remember, the goal isn't just to hand the patient the raw flight data.
Right. It's about handing them a clear, readable black box report so they can confidently pick up the baton for the next leg of the race.
Spot on. So please revise your draft and submit this back to us for another look.
We can't wait to see the next version.